along with other leaders and myself, we want and demand accountability and answers on behalf of the people of the Commonwealth. A dire concern and consternation to me is the inexcusable behavior of Martin Brown, Governor Youngkin's Chief Diversity Officer and Director of the Office of Opportunity and Inclusion. At a recent event at VMI, this appointed official declared that diversity, equity, and inclusion is dead. Now, just think of that for a moment. You have the man who is in charge going to a school that had conducted an investigation as to racism, sexism, etc., and concluded that there was the need for an investigation. His erroneous and disheartening comments fly in the face of transparent and accountable advocation for our citizens of underrepresented and marginalized backgrounds. In addition, his comments at BMI directly conflict with recent findings by the State Council of Higher Education. After nearly a 5-month independent investigation into reports of relentless racism and sexism, the General Assembly funded the investigation, costing $1 million of taxpayers' dollars. Governor Norton, Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax, and Attorney General Mark Herring all concluded, quote, the investigation found that institutional racism and sexism are present, tolerated, and too often left unaddressed. We're not talking about 100 years ago. We're not talking about 50 years ago. We're talking about now, taking place at VMI. They added further that the Commonwealth will study the report carefully and then take appropriate action. VMI is an agency of state government, and we will hold it accountable. And that's the commitment of the previous administration. They said that no one objected. At that time, no one said anything to the contrary. At that time, General Lenz, the superintendent of VMI, has steadfastly addressed the issue and has tried to improve upon the status. Unfortunately, he's been met with staunch opposition from a minority viewpoint from some of the members of the board, and particularly some reluctance from dissident alumni, even going to the point of saying they were pleased and happy that the governor in some of his recent, this current governor, and some of his recent appointments to BMI, to the board, listened to them and their pleas as it relates to why they felt they should investigate. So the comments from Brown signals a direct departure from the recognized needs for improvement at VMI, and that he would so blatantly make such an inflammatory statement flies in direct contradiction into the face of the role that he's appointed to fill. And he's appointed to deal with diversity and inclusion, he says it did. It is clear that Brown's reckless comments, including those made on other occasions, demonstrate his inadequacy and his lack of leadership and his lack of accountability. I have not asked for him to resign. I'm calling for him to be immediately replaced by the governor, because it's in dereliction of his duties and responsibilities, and his statements do collective harm to all of the people of Virginia.